Hi, I'm Dr. Ronan Inso, the current president of the Philippine Society of General Surgeons Southern Tagalog Chapter, and welcome to Surviving the Cut, the first surgical podcast in the Philippines. This is a joint project of the Southern Tagalog chapters of the Philippine College of Surgeons, Philippine Society of General Surgeons, Philippine Association of Laparoscopic and Endoscopic Surgeons, and Southern Tagalog Association of Residents in Surgery. In these series, you will hear from prominent surgeons across all specialties as they share their personal stories, the trials they encountered, and the challenges that they needed to overcome to become who they are today. The main objective of this podcast is to inspire our colleagues, medical students, surgery residents, and would-be surgeons of the country as they go through the long and difficult yet fulfilling journey of becoming a surgeon. So, on to our episode.
Good day, everyone. We are your host for today's episode. I am Dr. Loben Joseph Balita,
I am Dr. Trina Elise Regalado,
and we are General Surgery Residents in Batangas Medical Center.
Our guest for today first made his mark in Batangas Regional Hospital, now known as Batangas Medical Center, where he served as our chairman of the Department of Surgery for 15 years.
He also served as the past president of the Philippine College of Surgeons in Southern Tagalog Chapter.
Currently, he is the vice president of the Philippine Association of Laparoscopic and Endoscopic Surgeons and a member of the Committee of Accreditation of the Philippine Society of General Surgeons.
To some, he is called Dr. Palines. Sa'yo nga ba, Trina? Ano nga ba ang kinagisnan mo sa tawag kay Sir?
Basta ever since na pumasok ako ng Batangas Medical Center, we've always known him as Boss Pal.
Yes, Boss Pal. So let us all welcome Dr. Alejandro M. Palines Jr.
Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome po, Sir.
Thank you. I was tasked by our PSGS president, Ronan Inso, to share my journey as a general surgeon for our students, trainees, and the young and upcoming surgeon colleagues. So thank you, President Ronan, for considering me in the second episode.
So, Loben, tanda mo ba yung tinatanong sa atin ng mga consultants? Every time may bagong resident na mag apply for surgery,
Ano nga ba yun, Trina?
ano ka ba? Lagi nila tayong tinatanong kung bakit nga ba surgery yung gusto nating program as residency.
Curious lang kami, sir. So, ano nga ba yung naging inspiration mo to become a good surgeon?
Baliktad na ngayon parang ngayon nag-a-apply as ano. Well, anyway, my interest in surgery started when I was in high school, when I joined an apprenticeship program with my classmates doon sa Lasal, sa Lipa City, to observe in a private hospital. I remember very well that day. Meron akong kaklaseng hinimatay kasi yung bang peculiar smell ng operating room and the sight of blood, bigla siyang namutla at natumba. So, yun yung first encounter ko sa sa operating room. When we were in college, I was fascinated in the anatomy part of our zoology subjects. So, nagda-dissect kami ng frogs, ng sharks, ng cats. And when I finally entered the College of Medicine during semestral break, my late father, who was a doctor, would make arrangements for me to observe doon sa mga sikat na surgeons dito sa Batangas. Dr. Ramon Pastor, a US trained surgeon, and Dr. Arthur Tolentino, our former chairman, who is a locally trained UPPGH trained surgeon. So I would, every time they would operate, kakuntsaba ko yung mga nurses, sinasabi ko sa kanila, tatawagan nyo pag may OR. And the hospital was literally just over the fence. Talagang ang lapit lang. So, when they have to perform a surgery, mag-a-assist ako sa kanila.
So, sir, inaabangan niyo po talaga na may
Yeah,
time na
inaabangan ko
surgery.
talaga. Kasi noon walang masyadong residents doon sa surgery kaya tuwan-tuwa pa yon pag kami ibang magre-retract, mag-o-observe. Pero ako naman tuwan-tuwa ako. Yung hospital, ah, doon ako pinanganak at I spent my boyhood playing in the hospital premises. Oo, marami akong memories diyan. In fact, minsan nagbibisikleta ako, naaksidente ako, pumasok yung pa ako doon sa rayos ng 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 gulong. Dinala ko sa emergency. Hindi, bago dalhin sa emergency room, tinigilan ako ng jeepney driver. Sabi sa akin nako, kailangan putulin natin yung rayos ng gulong kasi hindi matatanggal yung paa mo na-stuck up eh. Sabi ko, wag ho at mamumura ho ako sa amin. Di putulin na lang niyo yung paa ko. Siya, putulin na ho ninyo yung rayos.
Tapos, sir, curious lang din kami, sir. After na po ng med school, after graduation, sir, how did your journey on becoming a surgeon started, sir? And what were your hardships? And what made you the surgeon you are today, sir?
After graduation in med school, a lucky break came when I applied for general surgery residency at the UPPGH. This is the part when God's hand played a strong part. Alam nyo, yung PGH nung araw, that was the mecca of surgical training. Maraming gustong doon talaga mag-train. There were too many applicants and too little items. So, I could not pull enough strings para makapasok ako doon. And nung mag-evaluation when evaluation time came, ako yung number 4 sa waiting list. So,
Ilan lang,
talagang
sir, tinatanggap po? Ilang item lang, sir?
konti lang konti lang. At, ako, hindi naman ako nanggaling sa College of Medicine sa UP. I came from another medical school. Although sa UP naman ako nag-pre-med. Siyempre, ang mga kakompetensya mo, mga graduates ng UP College of Medicine. Ako, outsider. So, number 4 ako, pero talagang sinuwerte, one by one, hindi nagtuloy yung
Kasabay, sir.
mga kasabay namin. One after the other, hindi tumuloy. So, nung number 4 na, ako nang tinawag. So, I was accepted as a first year fellow. Pag sinabi mong fellow, hindi yun yung fellow ngayon na may sweldo. Yun yung fellow. Kasi sabihin ng fellow noon, wala kang sweldo. So, I was a fellow for 2 years and it was only during my 3rd year na nagkaroon ako ng sweldo. Pero bali wala sa akin yun as long as meron akong yung training, yun ang habol ko. So, I would say that residency in PGH was really tough. No salary, plenty of patients, and practically I lived in the hospital. Tsaka pagka first year ka, walang endorsement ng pasyente. Pag nag-off yung mga seniors mo, ang ka-team mo, may iwan yung first year. So, literally, dun talaga tumitira. I got married during mid-residency, during my rotation in pathology. Kasi nung pathology, walang duty. So, yun yung pagkakataon.
Saan niyo, sir, nakilala yung wife niyo, sir? Sa PJH din po, sir.
Hindi, ang wife ko was cross-enroll lang yan nung pre-med. She's from UP Los Baños, ako naman ni UP Diliman. Nag-cross-enroll sa isang zoology subject. So, doon ko siya nakakilala. So, after a brief honeymoon, yun, back to the toxic duties as vice chief and team captain during my senior year. there were plenty of times during my residency. Yung off ka na, uuwi ka na. I was very excited to see my newborn baby. So mag-U-turn ako. Malapit na ako. Mag-U-turn ako sa Quezon Avenue, Banawe, balik na ulit sa PGH. Hindi na ako aabot doon sa bahay namin sa Quezon City. Kasi I have to get back at mag-uopera uli. So, ganun ang residency during the 5 years. So, finally, after finishing general surgery and passing the boards, I went back to Batangas to establish my practice along with my wife, who also just finished training in pediatric neurology.
Halos pala sir, yung 5 years yung training during your fellowship sir, halos hindi na po pala talaga kayo nakakauwi na po sir.
Di ba yun din naman ang sabi namin sa inyo nung kayo ini-interview?
Bawal oboy.
Uuwi lang kayo pag merong namatay o ikakasal ka. Ganon. Pero talagang practically sa hospital kayo nakatira.
Iba talaga sir, pag gusto niyo po talaga yung ginagawa niyo po, ano po. Pero sir, nung matapos po kayo dun sa PGH sir, paano niyo naman po na-establish yung practice niyo sa Batangas po sir?
Actually, nung bumalik ako sa Batangas, I would say that the practice of general surgery in my case came in 3 stages. Yung early, mid, at saka yung late stage. In the early stage, I have to balance my time with my young and growing family. Alam nyo, 4 yung anak ko. Every 2 years, nag-aanak si Mrs.
Family planning kayo, sir.
Oo. So, every 2 years, nanganganak siya. And babalansin mo yun. And starting a practice and revitalizing and nurturing a young training program. Yung BATMC in a government hospital, ano? When I applied for a government plantilla item, abay, tinanggap agad ako. And I was immediately appointed as the hospital training officer. Kasi walang tumanggap ng training officer. So, as the hospital training officer, my task then was to oversee the various training programs, not only in the Department of Surgery, pati sa OB, Pedia, lahat ng department noon. Konti lang naman yan eh. Pero at that time, the programs were not structured. Walang process. Baba, ikaw, bago kang graduate, nag-apply ka? Wala nang may interview pero konti lang. Pwede ka na mag-start kinabukasan or 1 week after mag-submit ka ng application. Training then was a see one, do one thing. Hindi yung kagaya ng training nyo ngayon. I would introduce them then the program na yung I underwent when I was training at the UPPGH and reorient the senior consultants in our institution. So, while doing this, I was trying to build up my practice. So, nag-apply din ako sa mga iba't ibang private hospital dito sa Batangas. And I was very fortunate to be trained as a general surgeon in the true sense of the title. Talagang general surgeon. Talagang pag sinabi kang general surgeon, lahat ginagawa mo.
Everything, sir, from head and neck.
Head and neck, hepatobiliary,
Opo.
trauma,
Colorectal, sir.
colorectal, tapos pati subspecialty, pediatric surgery, thoracic surgery, urology. Kasi during our time, when we were training at PGH, yung fellowship sa subspecialty, bago pa rin lang yan eh. Wala pa masyadong aplikante. So, pag ikaw ay senior rotator, halimbawa kayong dalawa, pero magka-year kayo, pero ikaw ay senior, ikaw ay junior, so yung senior, magagawa niya lahat yung yung major operation ng subspecialty. Ang mag-assist sa iyo yung subspecialty consultant. So, at that time, nung nagpa-practice ako, tumatanggap ako ng GS cases at saka subspecialty. Siyempre, yung kaya ko. Yung more complex and complicated cases, i-refer natin sa Manila, yung hindi kaya. At that time, when you're in the province, you also get non-surgical cases, kagaya ng ubo, sipon, nagtatae, LBM, yun. Tatanggapin mo rin yun. Lahat pupunta sa iyo.
Sir, nag-start pa lang ng practice.
Oo.
Now that we've heard the early stage of your career, sir, so what happened naman po on the mid stage of your career, sir?
So during the mid stage of my career, when practice is picking up, you will get appointed or elected as an officer, committee member, and even president of various local and national organizations like yung local society. Naging presidente ako ng Batangas Medical Society. Again, you have to balance your time between practice, family, and administrative job. It's a good thing I have an understanding wife who anyway was also busy herself, a supportive family, and in-laws. This is also the time that you travel with, sa conventions. It could be local, it could be abroad, it could be with or without your family. And sometimes you also travel for leisure kasi may konti ka ng kinikita. I was the hospital training officer for 17 years and chairman of our department for 13 years. I could have applied and probably be accepted as a hospital director. But my priorities then were different already. I have no regrets having made such a decision. I literally did not want to bite more than I could chew. And I thank the Lord Almighty for guiding me, making that life-changing decision. So this is the answer to your question about the pivotal situation in my career. Pwede sana akong naging hepe or nagtuloy na mag-practice.
So, sir, why did you choose to remain in our department instead of yearning a higher administrative position?
Actually, ayaw ko talaga nung sa administrative job. Mas gusto ko mag-opera and to train residents. So, tapos na tayo doon sa mid-stage, Now, the current stage where I am right now is probably when I retired from government service. Nandun na kayo during my retirement, di ba? So, I'm still an honorary consultant and still participates in the training of residents. I still occupy 2 positions in the national organization. Yung isa is as a Vice President of the Philippine Association of Laparoscopic and Endoscopic Surgeons. And the other one is as a team leader of an accreditation team of the PSGS. It won't be long when I will also relinquish this position. I still do private practice. Nag-opera pa rin ako. But now, I choose my patients, mainly elective and relatively easy, straightforward elective operations. I do not accept trauma and toxic emergency patients, which could be stressful. Alam naman ninyo
Yes,
yan,
sir.
di ba? Pag toxic ang pasyente. It's stressful most of the time. Pinaubaya ko na lang yan sa mga batang surgeons.
Dr. Balita, sir.
Dr.
Yan,
Regalado.
kaya ninyo. Kaya ni Louie. My priorities now are different. I like to spend more time with my family, travel, and more bonding time whenever my children are free, and of course, with my grandkids. At siyempre, also time for myself, playing golf with friends. I had 3 major health issues yearly which started during the pandemic. Siguro alam din ninyo yun eh. It was really, yung iba, life-threatening eh. And it was a wake-up call for me and made me realize that I now still have a few good more years left to enjoy life while still capable and able. So, yun. Loben and Trina,
So, sir, napaka-inspiring po ng story niyo, sir. From what you've said, sir, we can see na masaya po kayo, sir, and you're very dedicated to your craft. And instead of choosing an administrative work, sir, you chose, sir, to teach and share your knowledge and skill to young surgeons like us.
yeah, correct.
Yan, sir. So, Loven, anong masasabi mo sa life story niya, sir?
How we wish sure that we can achieve half of what you have accomplished. How did the PCS Southern Tagalog chapter started, and what is your future envision to them?
The Southern Tagalog chapter was officially organized when a group of surgeons from Batangas, Cavite, Laguna, and Quezon decided to form the chapter in a meeting held at the Cafe Valenzuela 600 on March 4, 1979. It was spearheaded by Dr. Cipriano Abilino. I have no idea who were the officers then and attendees, but during the time that I was already connected with the Batangas Regional Hospital, now the Batangas Medical Center, I would always see fellows from the Southern Tagalog chapter, especially during accreditation visits. Kasi one of the basic requirements when a training program is accredited is you have to have 5 surgeons who are fellows of the PCS. So the likes of Dr. Ramon Pastor, Vicente Pastor, Florencio Alcacid, Nemesio Villa, Johnny Mopera, Vicente Gahol were some of the STC surgeons invited then by the chairman of the Department of Surgery, Dr. Arthur Tolentino. It was in the 1980s when the 3 institutions, namely Perpetual Health in Laguna, in 1982, our institution, Batangas Medical Center in 1985, and the De La Salle in Cavite, this was in 1987, became accredited. And we, I myself, together with Dr. Joe Cueto and Ramon Inso, agreed to rotate the officers and activities of the chapter to the 3 institutions to make the Southern Tagalog chapter active, and I guess the rest is history. The Philippine College of Surgeons Southern Tagalog chapter has won several most outstanding chapter in the past years. So to answer your question, Loben, your second question on how we envision the chapter to be. We, meaning I, Dr. Cueto from De La Salle, and Dr. Inso from Perpetual Health, envisions the chapter to be a formidable force in terms of numbers, chapter activities, and now is a regular contender in the most outstanding chapter of the Philippine College of Surgeons.
Oo nga po, sir, from what I have heard, the Southern Tagalog chapter can be considered in the Hall of Fame for winning 3 consecutive awards as the best chapter. And these are all thanks to the 3 pillars of the Southern Tagalog chapter, which is Dr. Cueto, Dr. Inso, and yourself, sir.
Hindi naman, siyempre, it would not have been possible if not for all the members of the Southern Tagalog chapter. Hindi naman kaming tatlo lang ang ano eh. It's credit goes to all the members of the Southern Tagalog chapter.
So, Robin, what can you say being a member of the Southern Tagalog?
Wow. Sir, If there's anything you want to steal on us, what would that be? And in your opinion, what are the most important qualities needed to become a successful surgeon?
So these are my takeaway message for the students and young surgeons like you, which I learned when I dreamed of becoming a surgeon until I retired from government service and is about to retire from practice in the next few years, no? So number one, set your goals and do everything and anything to achieve it. Hindi naman masama ang mangarap eh. Sometimes and oftentimes, fate and destiny will be a factor. And in my case, my dream was to be trained in one of the most prestigious institutions in the country, which is the UPPGH. I was just an average applicant, and all I have to offer was my diligence, determination to do my best if accepted. Fate would get me admitted after the applicants ahead of me did not push through with residency. Even if I did not have a salary for 2 years, it didn't matter as long as I get the best training in general surgery. Number two, you should learn to balance your time when you pass through the 3 stages of your career. Dapat balance yan. Do not fall into a trap na lahat puro surgery. Hindi rin naman tama yon. Hindi yung balance eh. Your priorities will definitely change as you breeze through these 3 stages. Be truthful to your patients. Some are desperate and are easiest to fool. Know your limitations and do not promise them outcomes which you cannot fulfill. It may boomerang and in the end, you might have medical legal problems. Yun ang ayaw natin, ano? Remember, ask for help when you encounter difficult cases. It will not make you a lesser person or a surgeon for that matter if you do. Learn to establish rapport with your patients and their relatives. They will be very thankful even if the outcome is not good because they know you did your best. Express your appreciation to your family, husband, wife, parents, and kids. Thank them for their love, being supportive, and understanding. Do not forget your mentors and always mention them when you are already famous, thanking them for the guidance and patience and perseverance in nurturing you to become safe and ethical surgeons. Give back like what I'm doing now. Give back by sharing your skills and knowledge to the young surgeons. Professionalism is very important. Do not do anything foolish which would shame your mentors and the institution where you came from. Do not step down on people or colleagues to promote yourself, and you should practice humility, gratefulness in everything that you do. As one of my mentors would say, ito yung paborito ko talaga eh. At the end of the day, give yourself a pat on the back for a job well done. Reward yourself. Buy anything that you want for yourself. Siyempre, as long as you can afford it. No? Travel and see the places you want to see before you die. Do what you have always wanted to do all these years outside of your profession. Hindi naman pwedeng puro hospital lang at saka opera eh. Kailangan you should take a break from the hectic work. And tick one by one items in your bucket list. May bucket list ba kayo?
Meron, sir.
Meron. Ikaw?
Meron po, sir.
Marami.
Marami po, sir.
Oh. And lastly, always thank the Lord Almighty daily for all the blessings He has bestowed upon you. Pray for the gift of health and ask for guidance every time you treat your patients. Tandaan niyo mabuti yan, ha? So, thank you for the opportunity to share my humble journey. So, God bless us all. Mabuhay ang PCS, PSGS, and Pales Southern Tagalog Chapter.
So thank you, sir, for letting us and the viewers hear your very inspiring story. And thank you for all of your advices. Anong paborito mong advice ni Sir Loven?
Reward yourself.
Reward yourself and yun nga, sabi nga ni sir, hindi kailangan yung buong oras mo ay surgery. So, kailangan bigyan mo ng oras yung sarili mo, yung mga mahal mo sa buhay, at lalo na kung may pamilya.
Sabi nga ni Sir, you should balance everything. Thank you, Dr. Palines.
Thank you, sir.
It's my pleasure.
So this ends our second podcast episode.
On behalf of the Southern Tagalog Association of Resident in Surgery, this is Surviving the Cut, where we will tell the stories.
Trials.
And challenges in surgery.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. What
One STC.